Alright guys, welcome back to All Day RC. I've had a little bit of a break from things recently, been busy with work and that. It's been about 11 months since I last uploaded a video for you guys. I just want to say thanks to all the guys that have kept in touch over the last few months. Whilst I haven't been as active in the groups and I haven't been on YouTube, I've just been extremely busy with work. And obviously this worldwide pandemic hasn't really helped with getting out and about with things. However, I'm here today to tell you about this new Arrma Outcast 8S. I say tell you about it, but I'm going to be learning as I go. I haven't looked into this too much. This was a last minute buy just before Christmas. For you guys that are interested, I purchased this from Appliance Electronics from a guy called Zishan Ahmed, and I'll put a link down to his shop in the description in the UK. Absolutely outstanding customer service. I honestly cannot rate this guy enough. All the years that I've been in the hobby, it genuinely is only been this guy over the last 3 years that I've been dealing with that has transformed my customer experience with the hobby. So check that out. Also, I just want to apologise, I'm filming on my phone. It's been so long since I filmed the video, I can't find any of the attachments for my tripod and things like that, so please just bear with me. I'll have it sorted for the next video. Apart from that, guys, let's get into it, and I'll open up the box, get the car out, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, well, wow is all I can say. This thing's huge. To be honest, it's well within the realms of X-maxx size. This being a stunt truck, it's got the slightly shorter wheelbase. But other than that, this has all the physical presence of an X-maxx and possibly could be slightly wider. I'll try and do some side-by-side comparisons for you when I take it out for a bash sesh, or when the weather's a little bit nicer outside. I can get them on the grass. Right, as far as I'm aware, this only comes in one colour variant at the minute, which is this very, very deep metallic red. And as per usual with Arrma stuff, the bodies are so well painted, or whether there be, whether it's an internal inlay, but certainly a much higher standard than I've seen from other people. Same with the decals as well, are nice, and the decals are always fairly well put on. I've had quite a lot of Traxxas products where the bodies or the hulls of boats have been dipped and everything's off centre, and all the decals have been put on a bit iffy. Right, so we've got these D-Boots backflip tyres, basically a bigger version of what's on the 6S. I love my 6S ones. I've just recently had to replace them, and I've had the truck for 18 months, so they've done fairly well. And to be honest, if I didn't run it in as much wet and do as many standing backflips, they would have lasted quite a bit longer. So they've beefed them up, which is nice. Okay, we get a little pack of bits as usual, some stickers, instruction manual I'll have a look through later on. You get a wheel wrench, which, I'm going to be honest guys, you're probably going to be better off using a normal socket. That thing looks like it's going to churn your hands to bits, but it's included and it's metal. A winner. Spectrum radio. Most of you guys are probably aware I am not a fan of the Spectrum radios that Arrma, or mainly, shall I say, Horizon Hobbies, have been putting in with these vehicles. They've been of very poor quality, and I've had quite a few issues with them. I haven't used this particular model before. The only one that I did get on with was the one on my Infraction, but everything else I've had issues with. Looking on forums, it seems like you guys have had similar issues. But I'm going to run this stock out of the box. I'm going to use this radio gear to start with for a few reasons, which I'll go on to later in the video, but mainly so I can give you guys my honest opinion of it. Okay, so standard usual design, anti-skid on the top of the body, a nice roll cage here, which I'm assuming will be the same as the rest of their vehicles, and this centre bit will go down to a support inside on the actual chassis, giving the body support from landing upside down and bashers. Very heavy duty body pins with heavy duty protection, which is all linked in. The chances of losing them are quite slim. It also gives you something quite nice to get hold of to get the body off. fairly big front bumper, and I mean that thing's pretty damn solid. If you wanted a bit more clearance, what I've done on my 6S is I've shimmed that out slightly and put longer bolts in. So the body's quite thick actually. It might be slightly thicker than their smaller scale. As I said, support goes right through. The usual sign of don't just bash but blast. And then we come into the truck itself, which, wow, this thing's impressive to look at. I must admit, this is nice. You've got quick release here on the chassis braces, so you can get them off a lot easier than you have done on past models. Fairly good sized motor there. I mean, it's a 1250 kV, which should be more than suitable. Just while we're talking about the motor, their pinion setup on this, superb. So as per usual, it's a D-shaped shaft, so you've got your flat surface putting your grub screw onto, but also your pinion is the same. So your pinion's not going to slip around the shaft if your grub screw comes loose. And then on top of that, it's got a C-clip. Don't know if you guys are going to see it, but just in there, got a C-clip as well, which prevents the pinion coming off. So I've actually had this once before, where my pinion came off completely, and unfortunately on these vehicles that then means you've got no brakes, and it was at about 50-55 miles an hour on an X-maxx, and it used a wall to stop itself, unfortunately. So again, brilliant. They've seen problems that we're having in this hobby and they're rectifying it. You cannot ask for more than that. It looks like your normal Arrma but massively beefed up. Something that's nice to see is we've got rubber sealed bearings in places. They were always metal shielded bearings previously, which isn't as good for muck, dirt and dust and things like that. Shocks seem a pretty decent size. You've got adjustment on the body, shock caps below. I have got some shock covers to put on. I do recommend that anybody does that as a must. Now, get into the the ESC here. I don't know very much about this. It comes with an additional cat pack, which is nice, which is going to allow it to be a little bit smoother. It looks similar dimensions to a Max 5, something along those sorts of lines. I mean, it looks smart. It looks fairly heavy duty, but I believe that it's a smart ESC. Now, I can't even remember the name of it, so I do apologise. But they've got a new system, which I'm going to do a lot of playing about with, and it's why I don't want to change the radio gear. I want to do a lot of looking into this and programming to see actually what Arrma are giving us. Normally, I run Arrma stuff for the first few months, and then I put a hobby wing system in. Right, got an additional bit of metal bracing in the back here, which is nice. I mean, that's about 2.5, 3 mil thick. It's got, no, probably, yeah, it's at least 3 mil thick material. Again, heavy duty brace all the way down. It's just really, really nice. Nice big supports under the body. Huge wing. I mean, this wing is massive. And when I say massive, I mean, yes, it's in scale with the truck, but the thickness of it and the sturdiness of it is lovely. We've also got your standard Arrma wheelie bar. I say standard, on the other Outcast as well. This thing's fantastic. You're doing near vertical wheelies with this thing. I mean, absolutely lovely. I lost one of these on a previous vehicle. Well, I instantly replaced it with a stock one. I didn't bother buying anything else because that's how good I think that is. Nice little Outcast bit of detail there with a rear number plate, license plate or tag plate, depending on where you're from in the world. Okay, so it looks like we've got adjustment on the hubs as well as the link arms, which is nice. A similar size CVDs to the X-maxx, which again is quite nice, and these are CVDs rather than dog bones. Now the steering setup's fairly new to me. I know this has got a much bigger servo in it than the Traxxas had in it, the Traxxas X-maxx had in it. I haven't got a Creighton 8S, guys, so I can't make any comparisons to that at all. But other than, I mean, this isn't plastic, it's a composite material, but that might be for good reason. It might require the flex. Sometimes when you put too much metal in, that can cause more problems, but I'll get into that and have a look. This looks like it's going to be just as easy to work on as what most Arrma vehicles are. Now we've got these battery trays in here, which are adjustable, so we can open them up. They look like they've come as narrow as they can be, but the fact we can open and close them up is pretty impressive. I mean, if I put my hand on the side here, you can see how high these side guards are. So loads of battery protection, which again is really, really good. The amount of money that we're paying for our lipos these days, we need it. Something which isn't, it's unusual in our industry, in the hobby world, to have solid copper wires going from the motor to the ESC. It's not something that's uncommon in industry, so don't be too panicked by that, guys. Don't worry about it at all. Just, you know, it is what it is. However, they're not going to be flapping about and getting in your way. Just take a bit of care when you're unplugging them and plugging them in. God, I tell you what, guys, these A-arms, everything just looks so beefy and solid. I mean, the brace just on the front bumper alone there, which also goes down under and into the chassis. Speaking of which, oh, splicker on our side. Lovely. You know, everything's countersunk, which is nice. Now, on previous vehicles, front and back here, I've put an RPM skid plate on, whereas now it's come with it moulded into the bumpers. Doesn't mean that you can't put something additional on, but it means that you haven't got to instantly spend, you know, $15, $20 on extra parts. Also, these centre skids as well, which is quite nice. Depending on what kind of running you guys are doing, you could possibly put some strips on here that would cause you some sparking, a bit of titanium or something like that. Again, nice artwork on the bottom. It's going to get scratched and scuffed, we know that, but they've put it on there in the first place. It's a nice touch. Yeah, I honestly, guys, this thing's really impressing me. I mean, I didn't even realise this had come out until a couple of weeks ago when Z told me about it. Genuinely, I've spent so little time in the hobby over the last few months because of work commitments. I didn't even realise this thing had come out. Okay, one last quick thing, guys. These connectors, IC5s, not a big fan of them. They're extortionate in the UK. Really expensive, hard to get your hands on. These will be getting cut off eventually. I'm going to put adapters on first because I don't want to void my warranty. But I mean, one thing I'm going to say is it's nice silicon cable, which is fairly decent quality. It feels like it's possibly 10 gauge. Let's have a look. Yeah, 10 gauge. Okay. Would have thought that would have been 8 gauge maybe with a vehicle like this, but yeah. Right, guys, that's it from me. You know, I don't want to go into stuff that I don't know about. I don't want to read the box and just repeat. So I'll let you guys know when I actually run it and go from there. Take one last look at this body. Oh, this body is lovely. I mean, this whole thing is such a nice truck. I mean, whoever they've got doing their body work, their styling and things like that has just knocked it out of the park. Oh, there we go. Right. Absolutely stunning. I mean, it honestly, if it performs anything like it looks, then we're going to be all over this, guys. This is going to be good. And if it is good and it's similar to the 8S Creighton, then I think the next thing on my shopping list is going to be an 8S Creighton. And if it keeps performing well, I might have to say goodbye to one or two of these bad boys. But that's it. All right, guys. Stay safe. Honestly, guys, please stay safe during this pandemic. I know it's tempting to get out there, big groups and things like that, but just think of the future, think of your families, and hopefully towards the later part of 2021 we can put it all behind us. Right, guys, happy new year to everyone, take care and happy bashing.